Hello, everyone. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, just type "don't quit." If you're hearing the sound of my voice, type "don't quit." If you're hearing the sound of my voice, type "don't quit." Winners don't quit, and quitters don't win. It's as simple as that. All right, who's excited about today? Who's excited about this week coming up? If you are, just drop a 441 in the chat, knowing that you've read the disclaimer as well. All right. We're going to really be delving into a few things. Very, very interesting things indeed. Also, we'll look at the fundamental and see what's happening in the market coming up fundamentally. Okay, great. All right, where should we begin? We had some very, very beautiful trade setups last week, albeit that we had a very spiky and stop hunty midweek session on Wednesday. There was a massive stop hunt. But we will get into that because we are now going into the realms of being able to identify when the stop hunt is about to happen, what direction is going to happen in, and of course, after the stop hunt, generally there is a reversal in the market. If you're excited about that, just drop a 7 in the chat. How many times have you been in the trade, you're in the right direction, but you got stopped out, and then the market has taken your money and gone in your direction? How many times has that happened to you? How many times has that happened to you? Countless. Now we're going to be on the side of, you know what? We're going to take all the money back that the market has stolen from us. Who's ready and excited about that? If you're ready and excited to take back the money that the market has stolen from you because of all this stop hunting, manipulation, get ready. Okay, so let's actually look at, because of course we still have to factor in our fundamentals into the play, right? We got to factor in our fundamentals into the play because, you know, around the time when news is developing, news is happening, the market is getting ready for something. The market is getting ready to react to this news. I mean, if you wish that you knew what the market will do before the news dropped, just drop a 5 in the chat. If you wish you knew what the market will do before the news drop, well, let me tell you something. There are people in the market that has some insight. I'm 100% convinced that there's some people who have some insight into the market before anything happens, and they play their hands, right? And guess what? We're gonna join that elite. We're gonna join that elite group. We're gonna join that elite group, right? We're going to see the potential energy coming into the market. Excuse me. All right, we're going to see that potential energy coming into the market, and we're going to position ourselves to take advantage of that. Now, there are two ways to play it, right? You could trade the stop hunt, or you could decide, you know what, I'm going to wait for the stop hunt to happen, and then we trade in the opposite direction. Now, let's have a look at gold, and let's see what happened last week. All right, so let me just, so more people coming in. Let's let them in. Right, so gold was rather interesting. Let's start from Monday. Okay, let's start from Monday. Look at what happened, right? The market started trending upwards, right? Started pushing to the upside. This was Friday, it closed. Then Monday, when the market opened up, right? When the market opened up, we had a bit of a push down, but then what? During the London session, stop hunt, right? Above these highs right here. Okay? Stop hunt above these highs. And the reason why they have stop hunting going on is because there is liquidity, right? In order for people to sell, they need people to sell to, okay? And in the Forex market, in the trading space, they do that forcefully, okay? They wait for people to jump in too early, get a bit jumpy, and they take out their stop losses, and then they go in the right direction. Now, many people, after seeing the selling here, would have probably jumped in, okay? And of course, when you see the market moving, you move your stop loss into profit, right? Or you keep your stop loss just above these highs. And what did the market do? Take you out and drop, okay? Look at what happened here as well, okay? We had even a little bit of a high right here. Market pushed above those highs again. Liquidity. All of this is liquidity grab. Look at it right here. Equal highs, liquidity grab, then drop. Now, look at how nasty this is. Market starts playing around again. Look at this. Equal lows, right? And all of this is technical analysis, by the way, right? Equal lows right here. You're seeing it here, EQL. Stop hunt below that. And then a massive spike, stop hunt above these equal highs here again. See how manipulated this market is? Right? Stop hunt above these equal highs. And then massive drop off, all right? Now, if you're not aware of all these nuances, and especially with new traders, it absolutely destroys you, right? Because the market isn't trending anywhere. Right? It's literally ranging, but it's ranging and taking out stop losses, Now, when I started to make these observations, then when this market started falling off here, I began to see, right, from an AI that I'm developing at the moment. It's not publicly available yet, but we will start making it available to the public soon. But I started seeing that we had a lot of buying activity coming in, even though the market was selling off. And this is why I would have dropped this buy setup here. If you're in a private trading group, you would have seen a buy setup in this area here for a buy. Stop loss wasn't even that big, right? Stop loss was literally like about 70 pips, but we're aiming, right? We're aiming for The first take profit target was 260 pips. Second take profit target was 400, right? So, but what is the market doing? When all the buying activity is coming in to the market, but the price is still falling, what is doing? It is seeking liquidity again. And where is liquidity? Below these equal lows right here. Okay. Where is liquidity? We always have to ask ourselves, where is liquidity? Where is liquidity, right? Below these equal lows right here. So that's why I put my entries below these lows. Okay. Right. I mean, I could line it up with previous mood swing levels and all that. I could line it up with supply and demand zones, if you want to call it that. But my main thought is, where is liquidity? Where is liquidity? And its liquidity is below here, right? Below these lows where people would have entered the market for a buy-in position, and they've put their stop losses here. They probably put their stop losses into profit there. What does the market do? It takes you out. And then after all this, the buying activity started coming in, boom, you get that reversal. Okay. So beforehand, we'll be able to see, all right, there's buying activity coming in. We could do one of two things, right? We could trade the stop hunt, or we could wait for the stop hunt to happen, take out liquidity below these lows, and then push the market up. Now, which one are you? Would you be the one to trade the stop hunt, or would you be the one to wait for a reversal? Talk to me. Don't be shy. Oh man, you want to be everything, eh? You want to be everything. You want to be everything. Right? Remember, you don't have to be everything. Okay? Wait for the reversal. Okay. Why wait? Because in trading, you get paid to wait, right? You get paid to wait. You don't have to be the first to the market. Impatience is what kills people in trading. Impatience. As Warren Buffett says, the stock market is just the patient taking money from the impatient. Right? But again, if you have deep insights into like what we have now, then okay, fair enough. You could trade this stop loss, the stop hunt if you want. All right, you could trade the stop hunt if you want. No issues there whatsoever. And then trade the reversal after. Okay. Now, even if you missed, right, look at what happened here. Even if you miss this move, this stop hunt move, and then the reversal, even if you miss that, look at what happened. Especially with those people who have access to our mood swing tool, look at what happened here. Price just came and tap our mood swing tool to the pip, literally no drawdown, and then it's taken off again. Look at that. Taken off again. 280 pips. Now, here's the crazy part. When this move started happening, all of a sudden, as I said before, I started to get some insights that selling activity, right? Selling activity is now coming into the market. Selling activity is now coming into the market. So what could we do? Okay, well, this is what we did. If you in the trade setups group, right, you would have gotten this trade. You're in there, right? You would have been up, going up, how many pips? Over 400 pips if you held on to the trade. Right, this was from Thursday going into Friday. And then we start seeing selling activity coming into the market. What do we do? Well, This is what we did. Boom, right? We started marking off some key and significant price levels for the sell, and we posted it, right? We posted it into the chat for you guys. So for those of you who took the sell on Friday, congratulations. You are up right now over 100 pips. So 400 pips to the upside, 100 pips to the downside. I mean, you're killing it. You're killing it. You're killing it. You're absolutely killing it. Who's fired up about this week? Just drop some fire emojis in the chat. All right, because we're going to be having a lot more of this coming through. All right, we're going to be having a lot more of this coming through. Yes, yes, yes. So you better stay tuned. For those of you who aren't active, we're going to be clearing out all those inactive people, because this is going to be a secret sauce for those who are serious. Right, so there we have it. A nice sell-off to the downside on this gold, because of a lot of selling activity coming into play. Okay. And for the moment, the sell is pretty much still on gold. Yeah, for the moment, the sell is pretty much still on gold. I mean, I would know better when the market opens up and we could see what's really going on with the sentiment. But for the moment, the sell is pretty much still on gold right now. Past profits do not guarantee future profits. Use good risk management. Okay. But I'm telling you, the game has changed. Right? We got the source. Now, I mean, similar things can happen on the indices as well, but we'll stick to gold for now. Right? But we will start incorporating some of those indices into this play. Right? So let's see what's happening this week in our economic calendar. Let's see what's happening this week in our economic calendar. For those of you who may not know, we have the Japan election going on today. It's probably finished by now. They have the elections results being counted at the moment, and that is definitely going to have an effect on the Japanese yen. Okay, it's definitely going to have an effect on the Japanese yen. So, in this week ahead, market attention will remain focused on trade developments and any potential agreements with the US and key trading partners, right? US earnings season will move into full swing with major companies like Alphabet, Tesla, Coca-Cola, IBM, etc., sharing their quarterly results. And on the economic front, US key data releases will be the S&P Global PMI, durable goods, and new home sales. This is very important. New home sales is actually very important because that predicts whether there's a recession that is going to be happening in the market or not. If home sales starts cooling down, it means that a recession is potentially on the horizon. Okay, so that's very, very important figures for the US, right? Global monetary policy decisions from the European Central Bank of Russia, Central Bank of Turkey, and markets will also pay close attention to wide international indicators, including flash PMI figures from the Eurozone, the Germany, Japan, India, UK, France. Okay, right. So if we're looking at the Americans market, we're definitely looking at we want to see earnings from these big companies. So the instrument that will be affected here would be NAS, right? Because NAS has a lot of these tech companies into that index. So depending on the earnings from these companies, we will get an idea of how NAS is going to play, right? right? And of course, we spoke about the PMI and the housing sales. All right, there's gonna be some talk from the Federal Reserve this week coming. Mr. Chairman is going to be speaking on Tuesday. But yeah, this housing figure is going to be very, very important for the US. For Europe, right, the ECB, there's going to be a meeting on Thursday, and expecting no change on their rates. Okay, so this is on Thursday, I believe, is interest rate decision. Is it on the Eurozone? It's probably not listed there. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so there is some ECB interest rate decision that's going to be happening on Thursday. So we will keep an eye out for that as well. Okay. So they're saying that in the UK, the ONS will publish retail sales data following, so that's Office of National Statistics, ONS, following a strong reading of the British Retail Consortium, driven by hot weather boosting sales in electronic fans and leisure goods. Right. Meanwhile, in Turkey, they're expecting, all right, we're not too worried about Turkey. So that's an interesting comment right there. So potentially, again, we're looking for the pound to rise. Remember, when we're trading Forex, we have to separate all the currencies and look at them individually and then pair it up against a strong currency against a weak currency. That's how we should trade Forex. Asia and Australia. So in China, the People's Bank of China is expecting to leave its 1- and 5-year loan prime rates unchanged. All right. In Japan, attention will be on the preliminary July PMI that is expected to show a slight increase in manufacturing and Tokyo inflation figures, which is expected to show core inflation eased. Right? Traders will also closely monitor the results of the Japan's upper house elections. This is the elections that we're talking about that's happening today. And we shall see how that develops for the Japanese. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of things to keep in mind as we push forward. Let's look at something here on the pound. Let's look at the pound here for a minute. And where the pound is at. Because last week we had some interesting stuff happening on the pound. Okay. So you can see the pound was falling like mad. And then, of course, we had that big stop hunt. You know, when we having big stop hunts like this, stop hunt to the bottom, see, take out these liquidity again. This is a beautiful thing again. If you have this, your mood swing indicator where it shows these equal lows as well, that is a target. That is a target for liquidity. That is a target for liquidity right there. You see it? Takes out that liquidity at the equal bottoms, pushes up, takes out liquidity at these highs, mood swing level, you know, command contour level here, and then drops off. But then eventually we started seeing the pound rising. Personally, where you see we've got our mood swing level right here, personally, I'm looking for the pound to continue to rise again. I'll have to double check. I'll have to double check that. Let me just double check something here. Right? Let me just double check something here. Yeah. So I can see that there's a lot of buying activity on the pound, right? So what do we do here? Now we could either trade from this mood swing level on the pound, could either trade from this mood swing level here and buy at this level. So I'm using this green mood swing level. I'm using this previous fair price level here, fair price level. These pink levels are fair price level. I'm using these two levels here as a zone for us to buy the pound in. Okay. Now we could either take it from there or we wait for some sort of a stop hunt, although I don't necessarily think we'll get a stop hunt. Personally, I think the stop hunt had already happened on Wednesday, right? So personally, I'm just now looking for this pound to start pushing back up to the upside. Okay. Right. I'm looking for some sort of recovery on this pound. Big move. What we really want is just to see the dominant move of the market for the week, right? Where's the market going to play for this week? I want to see the dominant play. Okay. I will confirm this in the group or in the chat when the market opens up, because at the moment, I'm just going off of old data. But when the market opens up, I should be able to see some new data coming in, and I could confirm whether we're gonna take a play on this pound for the buy or not. But I'll post this. I'll post this into the chat. Right? That's posted into our private group right there for the pound. Movements upside. Interesting when I even go to the daily time frame, it actually sweeps and does a liquidity stunt below some previous lows right here, right? Right, so it even sweep below these lows here. That's what you call a liquidity hunt, right? See it there? Even hunt below these lows. Equal lows gives you the ability to, right? Liquidity hunt. Look at this. Liquidity hunt below these lows. Equal lows right here. Liquidity hunt. Okay? Never forget it. Never forget it. Right? Equal highs right here. Liquidity hunt. Right? Highs right here. Liquidity hunt. Okay? Never forget it. Never forget it. Highs right here. Liquidity hunt. Okay? We'll post goal in the private group. So get yourself in a private group. Let's go. Right. So that's the pound. Let me see what's going on with the Australian. Okay. See what's going on with the Australian. Wow, look at that beauty. Yeah, if you remember this trade from last week, right? It was beautiful. A beautiful trade. It actually touched little drawdown. See that? Little to no drawdown. Came up to a level here and then bang, dropped off like a lead anchor. Right. So what are we looking for now? We're actually looking for a recovery now on this Australian, right? Similar to the pound, but is quite far up. Anyways, I'm gonna mark this level off. I'm gonna mark this level off. And we're looking for movements to the upside. Okay. Right. We're looking for some movements to the upside. All right. Again, we're gonna drop this into a group here. And similar with NZD USD. Right. So I'm really just focused on the major pairs with the US in there and gold. That's all we need for the moment. All right. Beautiful, beautiful drop on this NZD USD again. Bam, and entry, beautiful, and then drop its take profit target. One at 50 pips, two at 100 pips or so, right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. NZD. Do, 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 do. Before you NZD, let me just have a look at the Japanese yen. Right? As of Friday, this is before the election stuff. As of Friday, the yen would have started to gain some strength, all right? The yen would have started to gain some strength. So Japanese yen pairs, let's see now if the pound is gaining strength and the yen is gaining strength, then GBP, JPY is not a good one to trade. But potentially USD, JPY is, right? Okay, so this is actually perfect because if the yen is gaining strength, I would look for a stop hunt above these highs right here. So I would look for the market to give me a stop hunt here. Right, so push up, take out the liquidity above here, and then drop off. That's how I'm gonna be looking at that. Okay. and then we look for a drop off like this. So entry would be anywhere above here, even probably just above these weekly highs right there. Weekly highs. All right, we look to target that. Stop loss. And I'm going to target right here. We have a fair value gap in here. I'm going to target that as the potential for this USD yen trade. All right. So that's a pretty much a weekly outlook for those pairs. Things may change. So we will update any changes in our private and exclusive group. For those of you who are back in on the inside, welcome home. For those of you who are inactive, you will be removed. And for those of you who want to get in on the action, all right, just send me a message and I will show you how you could get access to our private and exclusive group. Right? Other than that, I'm going to wish you a fantastic evening and the bishop, somebody just joined the group. Somebody just joined in, but we're just about wrapping up. So as I was about to say, for those of you who want to get in on our private and exclusive trade setups, right, just drop me a line and I will show you how you could get in and get access to all these trade setups and then updates if anything changes, right? And as always, I'm wishing you a fantastic week and we will see each other very, very soon. Bye for now.